Hello, welcome to today's Living Life with Purpose broadcast. I'm your host, Phil Foster. You know, the Apostle Paul wrote the epistle to the Philippians, and he started that letter out with these words, to the saints that are in Philippi. That's a pretty bold statement for the Apostle Paul to make. Many years ago, back in the late 80s, I lived in Louisiana, and every once in a while I would go down to the big city of New Orleans. And if you know anything about the NFL, they have a football team called the New Orleans Saints, and today they're a pretty good team, but back in the day they were struggling, and a lot of the fans would wear brown paper sacks over their heads to the games and call them the New Orleans Aints. Well, today they're not Aints, but they're Saints. And you know, probably if you're like me, you've probably looked in the mirror some mornings, and when you think about the fact that the Bible calls you a saint, you feel more like an ain't. And you know, the reality is it's not based on our performance, it's based on our position, who we are in Christ and what Jesus has done for us. And I want you to think this morning or today, whenever you're watching this video, of a couple things about being a saint. First of all, we're a saint by our calling, and that's what God has called us out of darkness into His marvelous light. So one of the things we're supposed to do as a saint is serve. And God doesn't want us to just sit around and sing and shout and dance about and just only serve God through what we do when we come to a church service. He wants us to get involved and pour some of what He's poured into us into the lives of others. So I want to encourage you to find a place of service through the local church and out in the community. And then just be reminded of who you represent. Every day of your life, remember, you're an ambassador for Christ. So everywhere you go, keep that before you. And if you can keep a couple of these thoughts fresh in your mind every morning, when you look in the mirror, you'll be reminded that yes, indeed, believe it or not, you're a saint, not an ain't. Well, look, I'm all out of time for today. So until we get together tomorrow, may the Lord bless you, and hey, have a great day.